What if living cheap was actually the smartest and richest way to live? Meet Sarah. She's 34, lives in Austin, Texas, and works as a graphic designer. She earns $75,000 a year. That sounds like a lot, but she still shops secondhand, uses coupon apps, and shares groceries with her neighbors. Her friends call her cheap, but Sarah says she's just being smart. Now meet Jake. He's 29 and lives in Lisbon, Portugal. He works online as a writer and makes about $18,000 a year. He doesn't own a car, doesn't have debt, and doesn't want a big house. He says, "I don't need more money. I need more time." These two people live very different lives, but they have one thing in common. They both choose to live frugally. This isn't just saving money, it's a lifestyle revolution. In today's world, frugal living doesn't mean being poor. It means living on purpose. And in this video, we'll show you how cheap living in 2025 actually looks and why it might be the smartest choice you can make. The evolution of frugality, from depression to digital. Frugal living isn't new. It started long ago during the Great Depression in the 1930s. Back then, people had no choice. They reused everything, grew their own food, and made clothes last as long as possible. Being frugal was about surviving. In the 1970s, during the oil crisis, people again had to cut back. Gas was expensive, jobs were tight, and families had to stretch every dollar. After the 2008 financial crash, saving money became cool again. DIY projects, thrift shopping, and home cooking grew popular. Frugal living started becoming a lifestyle, not just a need. Then came 2020. The pandemic changed everything. People lost jobs, moved back home, and started asking big questions like, what do I really need to be happy? This led to a wave of minimalist living, tiny homes, and the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. Now, in 2025, frugality looks different. It's smarter. It's digital. People use apps to budget, share tools with neighbors, and rent instead of buy. Young adults are leading the way, choosing less stuff, less debt, and more freedom. Frugal living today isn't about being broke. It's about being in control. 2. The new rules of modern frugality. Today, frugal living has a new look. It's not just about saving money. It's about spending wisely and living with purpose. The old ways of being cheap are gone. Today, people are choosing to live simply, not because they have to, but because they want to. Take Mia, for example. She lives in New York City and spends just $25 a day. She has no debt and doesn't own a car. Instead, she trades her graphic design skills for rent discounts and uses apps to get leftover food from restaurants. Then there's Devin and Lisa, a Gen Z couple in Los Angeles who share one car and even split their phone plan with friends to cut costs. Modern frugal people follow new rules. They spend on what matters and cut the rest. They use smart tools, apps that track spending, round up savings, and cancel and use subscriptions. They avoid clutter by renting or borrowing instead of buying. Frugality today also means living in ways that help the planet. People use buy nothing groups to trade items. They get cheap meals from apps like Too Good To Go. They even borrow tools, bikes, and kitchen gear from local libraries. It's not about sacrifice. It's about being clever. It's about saying no to things that don't bring joy and yes to things that do. Today's frugal lifestyle is quiet, confident, and full of freedom. It's about choosing time, health, and peace over stress and stuff. And the best part? Anyone can do it. 3. Rich in time, not stuff. The psychology of modern minimalism. In the past, people thought being rich meant having lots of things. Cars, clothes, gadgets, and big houses. But now, more people are starting to believe something different. Being rich means having more time, less stress, and a clear mind. This is where modern minimalism comes in. It's about owning fewer things and living more simply. When you stop buying things you don't really need, you have more money, more space, and more time for what really matters. Studies show that a simple lifestyle can reduce stress. Too much stuff makes our brains feel busy. We spend time cleaning, organizing, and worrying. But when we own less, we feel calmer. Our minds can rest. People who live minimally often say they feel happier. They're not stuck working extra hours just to pay for things they don't use. Instead, they use that time to travel, be with family, or build a business they enjoy. One example is Hannah, a remote worker who lives in Vietnam with just one backpack. She owns 20 items total, rents a small room, and spends her days working 4 hours and then exploring. She says, "I feel more alive now than I ever did with a closet full of clothes." Modern frugality isn't just about saving money, it's about designing a life that feels good. Less stuff, more freedom. That's the new wealth. 4. Inflation-proofing your life. Practical tactics. Prices are going up everywhere: groceries, rent, gas, even coffee. But instead of stressing out, many people are finding smart ways to inflation-proof their lives. That means spending less without feeling like you're missing out. Here are some practical tactics that real people are using in 2025. Lock in prices by paying yearly for things like phone plans, internet, or gym memberships. This helps avoid price hikes. Use budget apps to track spending, set savings goals, and find where your money is leaking. Join a shared grocery group. Some families or roommates now shop in bulk at stores like Costco, then split the food and cost. It saves money and reduces waste. Try co-living. In some cities, people are renting large houses together and sharing bills, childcare, and even chores. Rent out what you're not using. Driveway space, extra bedrooms, storage sheds, even tools or bikes can bring in money on the side. One family in Phoenix cut their monthly costs by 40% by sharing a home with another family. They cook meals together, share childcare, and split internet and utility bills. Inflation is hard, but it's not impossible to handle. With a little planning and some creativity, you can stretch your money further and still live well. Frugal living is no longer just about saving. It's about staying strong when the economy changes. 5. Frugal Tech, where savings meet startups. Technology is making frugal living easier and even fun. In 2025, there are many new apps and tools that help people save money without much effort. Apps like Too Good to Go let you buy leftover food from restaurants at big discounts. Splitwise helps roommates and friends track shared expenses, so no one overpays. Other apps like Rocket Money find subscriptions you forgot about and cancel them for you. Frugal people are also using online sharing platforms to rent or borrow things instead of buying. You can rent tools, bikes, and even clothes for special events. Some apps even let people trade services. For example, you fix someone's computer and they help you move. Startups today are focused on helping people live better with less. The idea is simple. Use tech to save time, money, and stress. Smart tech meets smart choices, and frugal living wins. 6. Beyond money. Frugality as identity and resistance. For many people today, frugal living is more than saving money. It's part of who they are. It's a quiet way to say no to stress, debt, and constant buying. Some call it a form of resistance. In a world that pushes us to buy more, work more, and show off online, choosing to live simply is a bold choice. It's not lazy, it's smart. It's about living by your own rules, not what ads or social media say. People are finding community in this lifestyle. Online groups or TikTok's #LowBuyYear show that thousands of people are saying, I don't need more stuff to be happy. Frugality gives freedom. Freedom from debt. Freedom from the pressure to impress. And most of all, freedom to live a life that feels real. Living cheap isn't shameful, it's powerful. Many people think living cheap means being poor, boring, or unhappy, but that's not true. In fact, modern frugal living can be fun, social, and full of choice. It's not about never spending money. It's about spending smarter. Frugal people still enjoy good food, travel, and hobbies. They just find better ways to do it. They use deals, share resources, and focus on quality, not quantity. Living cheap doesn't mean living less. It means living with more control, more creativity, and more freedom. It's not about cutting back. It's about leveling up. 7. The Antihustle Movement, why frugality beats burnout. In today's world, many people are tired of working too much and feeling burned out. They're starting to question the hustle culture that says you always have to work harder, earn more, and never stop. Now, a growing number of people are choosing a slower, simpler life. They work fewer hours, spend less, and focus more on health, family, and peace of mind. This is called the anti-hustle movement, and frugal living is a big part of it. For example, Emma used to work 60 hours a week to afford city life. Now, she lives in a small town, works 25 hours from home, and grows her own food. She says, I have less money, but I finally have time to live. Frugality gives you options. When you don't need a lot of money to be happy, you don't have to overwork to survive. You can rest, create, and enjoy life on your own terms. Remember Sarah and Jake? Sarah saved $18,000 in 1 year by living simply and sharing with her community. Now, she's taking a 3-month break to travel and rest. Jake is living his dream, slow traveling and creating content on his own time, with no debt and no pressure. Frugal living gave them both something money can't buy: freedom. You don't have to change everything overnight. Start small, cook more at home, cancel what you don't use, or trade skills with a friend. Frugal freedom is about choices. And the good news? It's closer than you think. Want to learn how real people are building quiet wealth and achieving financial success? Then watch this video next. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.